Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, presented by the Hula Bowl. And today I have with me Bailey Zappe, who's a quarterback out of Western Kentucky now. He was formerly at Houston Baptist. So, how's it going, bud?
Going good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's nice to have you on. Today I also have with me Scott Phillips. He's the Assistant Director of Scouting for the Hula Bowl. He'll be with us as well, just kind of asking Bailey some of maybe the questions that he really wants to know about Bailey and what type of a guy he is, quarterback and stuff. So let's kind of get down to it if you don't mind. Bailey, give me like I don't know, maybe like a brief summary of your career if you don't mind.
So I started out my career at Houston Baptist. They were my only offer coming out of high school, and I spent 4 or 3.5 years with COVID year. We only played 4 games, so I spent 3.5, 4 years there, and now I've transferred to Western Kentucky, and I've been here. I got here January, so I've been here all spring ball, summer workouts, and now into this season, and then this is my last college football season.
Right. So, I mean, obviously, like you said, I mean, with COVID, you kind of, well, you got an extra year. So you had the opportunity to take that transfer. Walk us through how that transfer process was for you. I mean, was Western Kentucky the only offer? Why did you choose them? I don't know. Just kind of fill in the blanks a little bit as that, that whole process.
It was, something that I haven't experienced. Like I said, I only had one offer, coming out of high school, which was HBU. And then whenever, I decided to put into a transfer portal and I officially got in there, of course, WKU was my, first call. They're my first offer. My OC, Coach Kitley, came here. So, of course, I already had that connection with WKU. I also had, like Tennessee and Texas Tech were my two other main ones besides WKU that I really talked to a lot. But really, my heart was, here at WKU, of course, being in the same offense for one last year. And, what we were able to do, those 4 games during the COVID year and actually be able to go through a whole season one last time in this offense is really what, made my decision for me. And, it's been the best decision of my life.
That's awesome, Bailey. So you've been playing quarterback since you were 5 years old, if I recall correctly. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I started out playing and haven't stopped since.
Nice, man. So I got to ask, what motivated you to get the quarterback gene? I mean, who did you look up to? Who were the icons that you were following?
It was at a young age. Peyton Manning was my big time guy. I was a Colts fan ride or die. Every time they came to Houston, played Texans, I was there. I went 4 or 5 times to those games. And then, when I, you know, knew that I wasn't going to be 6'5", I started looking more towards guys like Drew Brees and, just kind of learning his game and how he handled, not being 6'5" and being 6', 6'1", and how he was able to, overcome, everybody saying that he wasn't going to be a great quarterback. And then, as we all know, he's a Hall of Famer, and, he's probably been, the main guy that I've looked at over the years.
Yeah. When you go to the combine or get a measurement, what's he going to measure out at, Bailey, height-wise?
Around 6'1". I've been measured everywhere. We had 2 of, scouts or whatever come here in spring, and I was like 6'5" one time, and then like 6'1" one time. So it goes back and forth. So hopefully 6'1", so nobody has to. I can say I'm 6'1".
Yeah, get over that question. Gotcha.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So, I mean, obviously, height, I think height these days is overrated, at least a little bit. I mean, really just, it depends on the type of, quarterback you are, obviously. So, and I feel like you're the kind of guy who, has been able to use a little bit of everything in your arsenal. So I think that's cool. I do want to kind of backtrack a little bit with regards to Houston Baptist. And then obviously just kind of I don't know, compare that a little bit to Western Kentucky. So, walk us through maybe, I don't know, let's look at the differences between your first start there for Houston Baptist versus your first start at Western Kentucky. And just tell me how that felt.
Personally, it was a big difference, of course, starting as a true freshman. That first game, I was nervous. I was, as you would say, immature as a quarterback. I made some freshman throws, over across the middle, stuff like that. And then, started my first game here, more maturity, learned a lot more of the game over the past 4 years, a lot more calmer in the pocket. And, being here, WKU at a bigger school, at FBS school, you have a lot more talent around you. And, just being able to get, the ball in my playmaker's hands is, the biggest difference for me. And, when you have guys like Jared Stearns, Mitchell Tinsley, David Davis, and many other guys that we have on our team, it's a blessing to have as a quarterback. And then you look at the other side of the ball here, and you have D'Angelo Malone, who is probably top 10 in the country at his position, and be able to have that on the other side of the ball is even better.
It's to you, Scott.
Yeah, man. So you kind of, I'm curious, you came onto the into the spotlight at HBU. You had a pretty big game against Texas Tech, 500 yards, Big 12 opponent. What was that like for you?
It was an awesome experience, not only for me, but, for all my teammates and all the coaches and everybody involved with HBU. I give a lot of credit to everybody else on the team. The O-line played really well that game, going against a Big 12 D-line. A bunch of people said that, our offensive line wasn't going to be able to hold up, and they were able to do just that. And then, receivers getting open and making plays and, just making the job easier on me. And then it goes down to, Coach Kitley, who's, one of the brightest minds in college football right now. And, doing what he loves. He was scheming up, Texas Tech defense. We had a bunch of plays that we were able to break for big plays. And, it was a great game. And I wish we were able to come out with a W, but we were kind of able to put HBU on the map after that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously HBU, I think, a lot of people know who HBU is now. I mean, I think it's kind of awesome, so that, you guys are, getting getting looks, getting serious looks from the pros, and obviously a lot of your talent ended up coming actually with you for whatever reason. So my next question really comes along those lines. I mean, the people that came with you, but I also want to talk about one guy who I'm actually very proud of, and Caleb Johnson, who made the 53-man roster for the Chicago Bears. So tell me about some of those guys and what they mean to you as teammates.
I'll first start with Caleb Johnson. He's a phenomenal player. I was able to play with him all my 4 years there at HBU, and just to be able to go against that guy every day and be able to watch him, on the field on Saturdays is something that, is awesome to see. He was a great player, and he's an even better player. I mean, a person off the field. He's a very genuine person. He's, a great leader. He's always, 100% honest, and he's a hard worker. And that's what, at that point in time at HBU, we really needed, and somebody like that, a captain like him. And he stepped in and filled that position, those years I was there. And then moving on to the guys that, didn't follow me here, came with me here, Jared Stearns, Josh Stearns, and, Ben Ratzlaff, bringing those guys here made it a lot easier, made the transition a lot easier. Of course, being, hour and a half from home at HBU and not being 15 hours, being able to bring friends with me, of course, has made it a lot easier from a, like outside of football standpoint. But then from a football standpoint, we were able to make the, the offensive transition from, helping the guys that were here last year under the old offense, kind of help them get, accustomed to what we do and what the plays that we run and how different, some plays are. And being able to have us four here and be like different, be like coaches on the field, I feel like really helped us, speed that process up and led to what we're doing now this year.
Nice.
Yeah, so you had Bailey, that's a special, we talked about a special experience that you had against Texas Tech at HBU. I'm kind of curious about another game that you just recently played. So you get now over to Western Kentucky. You're in your big school under the big lights now, and you guys got to do something pretty cool, which was play a game on 9/11 against Army at West Point on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And I'm curious, what was that like for you? What was that experience like?
It was definitely something that I'll remember forever. The stadium was packed. I don't know if it was sold out, but it sounded like it and looked like it. Be able to play against a team like that on, 9/11 on any weekend. Army's a great team. I think, they're probably going to they have a chance this year to, go undefeated. They're a great team. They have a great defense. They have a great offense. What they run on the offensive side, triple option, not many people are able to get the ball as many times and be able to put up the points that we did, 35, and, hold them to only 38. I've seen they scored 52 today. So for our defense to hold them to 38 is a, big accomplishment. And like I said, it was an awesome experience and, something that I'll, myself and, everybody on the team will remember.
Awesome.
Nice. I mean, again, Bailey, like you said, I mean, obviously having one of your coordinators come over with you and kind of being a part of that program certainly helped that transition. I was just curious though, tell me about maybe like the best lesson that you've ever learned from like maybe one particular coach, whether that be like maybe your high school coach or one of your coaches at HBU or even there at Western Kentucky. So what's like the best lesson you ever learned?
I think the best lesson that, my dad's told me, a few coaches have told me is playing the quarterback position, you kind of have to have a short-term memory. There's many a times where, say you're driving down the field and you throw a pick six and you come off the field and you got to go right back on it. And you got to forget that entire play because now it's a whole new drive that you have to start. And there's a whole new drive that you have to do and go down and try to, kind of, I guess, kind of capitalize on, the pick that you just threw. And I think that's the biggest thing for me that I've learned over the years is just try to continue to, forget the bad things that have happened and try to, forget those and try to just carry on.
Gotcha. Scott, you had one more question you had to give to Bailey?
Yeah, man, Bailey, you're rising up the boards here, and people are going to start looking at you. It's going to be, NFL teams. It's definitely going to be bowl games. I know on behalf of the Hula Bowl, we're watching you very closely. Hope that you might be a candidate to take a peek at our game before you get warmed up for anything bigger than that a few weeks later. And as all these scouts, NFL scouts, college all-star game scouts, they're looking at you. What's one thing that you would want them to know as they're kind of painting the picture of the story of Bailey Zappe?
That I'm no matter where I go, that I'm gonna be the hardest worker in the room. That the decision that they make on me, and if they take me, if it's gonna be the best decision they ever made. That I'm gonna come in there, I'm gonna give it my all. I love the game of football, and that's I'm gonna do everything I can to help the team out, help the team win, and like I said, I'm gonna be the hardest worker in the room, and I'm gonna give it my all and be the best person I can be the best player I can be for that organization.
Thank you.
Great. I do want to kind of get a chance to meet Bailey Zappe like outside of football a little bit. So I believe you got your marketing degree at Houston Baptist, right?
Yes, sir.
So what are you doing there? What are we taking there at Western Kentucky?
A master's program for sports and recreation. So basically like coaching, learning all about that, like the behind the scenes stuff, and basically it's ultimately just coaching.
Nice. And the last time I talked to you, you talked to me a little bit about how you love being outdoors, you love fishing and hunting. Have you had any chance to do that this year?
Not since I've been here. I don't really. We got a month off back in, the summer before June, and really that month I just, hung out with the family and everything. And of course, being up here and deer season just around the corner, I'm more than likely going to miss out on it this year. But I'll get my dad and brother to send me some pictures. I got enough in last year during the shortened season, so I made up for it.
That's good. Again, just kind of getting to know you a little bit more, and maybe something that you want to share. You have a favorite movie? Do you have a favorite movie that comes to mind that you like to watch every so often, or every time it's on TV, like you got to stop and watch it?
Um, I have quite a few movies. I'm a big Marvel guy. I'm an Iron Man guy. So like if there's an Iron Man movie on, I'm watching Avengers. I'm watching it. I think of, some of my movies that my dad watches back like on TV, like Tombstone, Doc Holliday stuff. My dad's a big, old Western movie guy. So he's kind of got me hooked on that. So if it pops up on TV, I'll just, watch it. And if I'm bored, I'll watch it. But really just the Marvel movies is what I like.
So if you could be any character in the Marvel universe, okay, and maybe
I was about
one.
to ask this.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. That's what I had down in my notes.
Way
So,
off script.
yeah, we're completely off script now. Who would you be? Who would you be as somebody in the Marvel universe?
Iron Man. That's easy. Iron Man.
And I guess why?
I don't know. Just the way like he carries himself, his confidence. He's. I think. I sound like a nerd right now, but I guess like his character development from Iron Man 1 to the very end.
Mhm.
Iron Man 1, he's more of a cocky, do it myself guy, and at the very end of Avengers, he's the guy that takes the stones or whatever and dies for everybody to live type thing.
Spoiler alert.
So,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Makes a sacrifice play.
yeah,
Bailey
it's
Zappi,
been a year. It's
spoiling
been a year.
Avengers
If you haven't watched it now, I might as well just spoil it for you.
Right.
Endgame.
You got another like silly question? I know I kind of stole your Scott, but you have another one, like kind of anything?
I feel like where am I going to go from that? It's not a silly one, but I'm just curious, Bailey, if and I certainly hope that your NFL dreams come true. If they didn't, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I think I've made that decision actually when I got here at WKU, sorry. And, just talking to Coach Kitley more and more about, what I was going to do if football didn't work out. And I think coaching is probably what I'll go into if, football doesn't work out. Football doesn't work out, like I told Coach Kitley, he's going to see my name on his phone real quick. Next day I'm calling him, be like, hey, what you got for me? But as of right now, it's coaching.
Awesome.
Gotcha. Well, doesn't sound like a bad thing. Obviously you're taking classes right now to hopefully help you, ease into that if that's kind of in your future. So that's kind of nice. Bailey, I do want to kind of wrap things up a little bit with you. So, obviously we've talked about, you doing some great things there at Western Kentucky. You have any aspirations, goals for this particular season?
The number one goal that we all have here, on the football team and throughout the whole program is just get the conference championship ring. We have two opponents this coming week, before we start conference, and Indiana, Michigan State, and these are two great teams that we can't overlook. So we're going to finish out our non-conference and get ready for our conference, and our goal is to at the end of the year have that ring on our finger.
Gotcha. Well, Bailey, again, best of luck to you this upcoming season. I mean, I know you got a lot of great games. I know a lot of scouts are really, keeping their eyes on you. I mean, obviously we are, but there are a lot of other, teams in the NFL that are very curious about your development. So, again, I do wish you best of luck this upcoming season. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Again, this is Bailey Zappe. He's a quarterback out of Western Kentucky, formerly, of Houston Baptist. So, thanks again, guys.